Not everyone has to be a mathematician, and not all of our mathematicians have to be poets. It's about amplifying your strengths, and when you amplify those strengths every day, you turn them into superpowers. Guess what, everybody? It's time for the Freedom Club podcast. I'm your host, Kurt Mercadante, and I am so very grateful, so very thankful that you are here today. Now, before we get into today's topic, I want to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by my very own Freedom Club Festival. And actually, it's not mine, it's yours. The Freedom Club Festival is a day-long celebration of entrepreneurship, personal branding, business building, mental, physical health, and entrepreneurship. It's November 8th here in historic Charleston, South Carolina. We've already sold 60 tickets to this thing. It's not even August. We have 250 tickets total to sell, and we are going to sell this out. We've already had people from as far away as Korea, Canada, across the United States who have bought tickets. Listen to this global lineup of speakers we have. We have Brandon Steiner, founder of Steiner Sports, Dr. Natalia Vikoski joining us all the way from Dubai. She's an international personal branding expert. We have Dr. Bobby Canero, who's an author, TEDx speaker, oncologist. We have Marcus Aurelius Anderson, rockstar mindset coach. We have Fraser Cameron, international epic dads coach. We have two more speakers that we are announcing in the coming weeks. If you want your tickets, go grab them now. KurtMercadante.com. Click the festival tab. We'll put something in the comments as well. But grab your tickets. Come here to historic Charleston, South Carolina. It's going to be at Founders Hall. It's an incredible location. By the way, we're going to have food trucks. We're going to have local music. Day-long celebration. Come and join us. So with that, let's start getting into the meat of today's episode, because I want to talk to you about something that you know I'm passionate about and I talk about all the time, and that is superpowers. As you may know, I am a Gallup certified strengths coach, and I'm a bit of a strengths nerd because I believe in it so much. Every one of my programs begins with your Strengths Finder assessment. With that assessment, you become aware of your innate talents. And talents are those naturally recurring patterns of thought, feeling, and behavior that can be productively applied. You know, whether you're right-handed or left-handed is your talent. And a lot of people don't even know what their talents are. A lot of people think they know what their talents are, and they're absolutely wrong. So it's always very eye-opening for people to take this assessment and work with me to discover what these God-given innate talents are, because often it's a surprise, and sometimes they know what they are. They've known for a while, but they just haven't invested in those talents. And when you become aware of those talents, that's just the first step, because then you start investing in them every single day. And when you start investing in them and working these talents out like you would work out a muscle at the gym, you turn them into strengths. Now, to understand this, I once had a friend who was a former semi-pro baseball player, and to explain this, I asked him, I said, did you hit from the right-hand side of the plate or the left-hand side of the plate? He said, the right-handed side of the plate. I said, okay. So what if at the beginning of the season, your manager said, hey, you're going to have to hit from the left-handed side of the plate for the rest of the season? My friend said, I would suck. My batting average would be horrible. It wouldn't be as fun. I'd probably quit or get kicked off the team. You see, hitting from the right-handed side of the plate was his talent. But by investing in that talent, by practicing, going to the batting cage every day, doing all those things, he invested in that talent, combined it with his skill, which was hitting a baseball, which all of us don't have. We don't always have that skill. But hitting the baseball is the skill. Being right-handed is the talent. You combine those, you practice them, you work them out all the time, you invest in them, you turn it into a strength. But some people, there's a lot of baseball players that do that. But then you take it to the next level and you amplify those strengths. You focus on amplifying those strengths instead of focusing on what a lot of us do, focusing on trying to fix our weaknesses. And when you do that, when you combine your strengths with your knowledge, your love of the game, your love of life, your love of whatever activity in which you're engaging, when you combine that with your education, your knowledge, your upbringing, then you start to turn them into full-blown superpowers. Now, I talked about a lot of us liking to, we focus on fixing our weaknesses. That's the way a lot of us are raised in school, from our parents, from our coaches on the court or on the field or on the pitch. right? Focus on fixing your weaknesses. That's the best way to success. It is not the best way to success. And I'm not saying you ignore your weaknesses, but you manage them. In business, you delegate them, you outsource those weaknesses. Because I'm here to tell you, I learned the hard way from launching my own company and spending much of my day in my weaknesses zone. I wanted to give it all up. I wasn't efficient. I wasn't profitable. I hated the day because I was working on things that I didn't do well. It's just common sense. When you work in your weaknesses zone, you're not nearly as effective. You're not nearly as happy, as fulfilled as when you work in your superpower zone. It just stands to reason. It's like my friend who, if he was forced to hit from the left-handed side of the plate, it wouldn't be as enjoyable. He wouldn't be as effective. But many of us, entrepreneurs, managers, those of us who work in 9-to-5 corporate jobs, we force ourselves on a daily basis to do the equivalent of hitting from the left-handed side of the plate. We work in that weaknesses zone. Gallup has been studying this for decades, individuals, small business owners, Fortune 500 companies, and they know that individuals who focus on working within their strengths zone, I like to take that to a next level and talk about your superpower zone, they're more efficient. They have a better quality of life. Teams that work within their superpower zone, they're more profitable. They're more efficient. When I say superpower zone, my goodness, how many of you have had that review from your boss, that performance review, where there's a few lines, maybe a full paragraph talking about some bullshit stuff that's positive, right? Oh, you come in on time. You always have a smile on your face, and that's followed by like 3 pages of all the things you do wrong. Remember I said most of us focus on our weaknesses? That's exactly what happens with many of these performance reviews. It's called deficit-based development. It starts when we're young. Focus on what you do wrong. When we're in school, focus on those subjects in which you perform most poorly instead of the ones you do the best. Listen, not everyone has to be a mathematician, and not all of our mathematicians have to be poets. It's about amplifying your strengths, and when you amplify those strengths every day, you turn them into superpowers. Now, I want to translate that to talking about productivity, which I've been talking about for the past few weeks, and I've been talking about it for the past few weeks because it's not only something I'm passionate about, I know it's something that you all are passionate about, given the fact that I've been not selling out, they're free, but I've been packing my webinars. My last webinar had so many people on it, I couldn't even get to that many questions. It's called the Productivity Superhero Webinar. I'm having another one this Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. But we know when you work in your superpower zone, that is a key to being more productive. Again, you're more efficient. Things flow instead of grind. You lose track of time because you're working within the skill. Now, I don't want to say the skill set, the talent set of what you do best. Things come easier. Yes, you are going to be more productive. It is the very first step. And in my upcoming Productivity Superhero Accelerator, we start with the StrengthsFinder assessment to help you unlock those talents, which is the first step to getting into your superpower zone to unleash your superpowers. That's a key step to becoming a productivity superhero, because if you focus on your weaknesses, again, you're hitting from the left-handed side of the plate on a daily basis, you're going to be less effective. You're going to hate it. It's going to suck. And yes, you're not going to be as productive as you would. Now, can anyone be successful in any career with any combination of strengths and superpowers? My opinion is yes. And I once had someone in one of my coaching groups who said, listen, I'm trying to figure out how I can monetize my strengths. And I think that's the wrong way to go about it. I think instead you have to focus, how can I get myself in my superpower zone every single day, no matter what job I have, no matter what career I have. For instance, my number one strength is learner. And so I put myself in my superpower zone every single day by starting off the day by reading 1 or 2 books. Now, some of those are fiction books. They don't immediately translate to success in my day in terms of work, but I get myself in that superpower zone. I get my juices flowing. It's like a warm-up. Listen, I don't go and do leg press at the gym because I'm going to do leg press anywhere else in my life. I do leg press at the gym because it primes my body for success elsewhere in the world. Maybe it's picking up my kids, walking upstairs, picking up groceries, whatever it is. It's the same with your strengths. You got to get yourself in that superpower zone as much as possible. Audit your day. See which days are grinding or a grind. They don't feel like they're flowing efficiently. And look, how much of those days am I spending on my superpowers versus my weaknesses? And then look, well, how can I get rid of those weaknesses? Can I delegate them? Can I outsource them? Can I just stop doing them? Which is, yes, that's a possibility. So yeah, a first key to being truly productive, to being a productivity superhero, is unlocking your talents, amplifying them, investing in them to turn them into strengths, and then truly combining your strengths with what you love, your education, your knowledge, your passion every day. That's when you start unleashing your superpowers. And unleashing your superpowers is an important first step to becoming a productivity superhero. And if I seem excited, it's because I am. I love helping people become more productive because it's an important first step. It is a key pillar of living a life of freedom and fulfillment so that every day you're not overwhelmed, you're not a victim of busy. You're focused on what you need to get done. You're truly productive. You're traveling the shortest, straightest, simplest line to get there. You're truly productive and you're free and fulfilled.